Hello, everybody. We are live for our webinar for the secrets of endo. Really, we are talking about why endo comes back. Hello, hello, everybody that's joining us today. We are almost getting ready to go. In the meantime, I would like for you guys to locate the chat box and set it to presenters and attendees. And once you've done that, type your name and where you're from. And see, we have people joining. Awesome, awesome. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Find the chat box. Let's get this conversation started. It's going to be amazing when we have everybody kind of interactively talking. You find the chat box, you change the to drop down to all panelists and attendees. You should see the chat box kind of lighting up right now. I'm Kush, welcome. Nice to meet you guys all. It'll be nice when you guys kind of type in there, that way I know you're here, you guys are listening. If you guys can just make sure you guys do a sound and video check for me, that you guys can hear me, you guys can see me, while I get ready on my end. A good hair tie back is always great. All right, I see a few folks have joined. If you would be so kind enough to share where you're from and your name, then we can start. We'll start just in a couple minutes. You guys can see, find the chat box. Give me a shout out. Tell me, you guys, can you guys hear me? Can you guys see me? I feel like something's not working because I'm not getting anybody in the chat box talking to me yet. Oh, awesome. Okay. Joelle from Tyler, Texas. Awesome. I'm going to tell everybody that we are live as well. All right. Christina from New York City, welcome, welcome. Hello. Those who are joining, let us know where you're from and your name in the chat box. Just type it in right there. Yep, you'll find the chat box. Change it from all to all panelists and attendees. Yasmin, can you welcome? Do you mind changing your drop down to all panelists and attendees? That way when you guys type, everybody sees it. We're gonna have a lot of questions today and just back and forth conversation. I just wanna make sure that everybody gets in on that. Let me just make sure that those who wanna join here, you're out. All right, let me make sure those in the Facebook group that we're live as well. Anam, is that how did I pronounce it right? Anam from San Antonio, Texas. So we have two Texans here. All right, I'm gonna just stop sharing for a second as I share that we are live in the Facebook group. Gotta tell everybody, don't want people to miss it this time. There's a lot of folks that missed it the last time, beating endometriosis. All right. All right, that is there. And now we can get back to it. Amazing. Okay, it seems like everyone's joining in, and there we go. All right, everybody can see the screen? Yeah, and I think I've seen everybody. So we have Anam, we've seen Yasmin, Christina, Joelle, we have a few others. If you guys can just find the chat box, awesome. If you can just see the chat box and let me know where you're from and why you are here, right? You're all here for a reason. I'm gonna guess you wanna feel like yourself, right? You wanna have confidence to make plans and dream, like, you know, and almost like delete endo from your life. Who would wants to delete endo from their life? Yasmin from Chicago, Illinois. Awesome. Is it Illinois or Illinois? I never quite know. But welcome, welcome. My name is Kush. I am the face of Endo Nutrition. And I'm going to share a little bit about myself today. I wanted to know in the comments, you know, April from Niagara Falls, Canada. Welcome, April. April, what you want to do is you want to change in the Dropbox the drop down from all panelists to all panelists and attendees. And that way everybody kind of gets in the conversation. All right, awesome. We have 8 already joining, and we expect more to continue to join as we continue. Awesome. All right, so we're all here for a reason. I'm here to share my learnings and everything that I did to beat endo and everything that I learned about it. And I'm hoping that you guys are here because you're ready to beat endo, right? Tell me in the comments if you're ready to beat endo. And I'm here to say that's 100% possible. 100%. Yes, I know. It's sometimes hard to believe when you're in that phase. And I look back sometimes and like, wow, I actually thought I was so stuck, right? Who in here remembers or currently feel stuck? You know, you're in that position where you feel stuck, right? Yeah? Okay. I want to tell me in the comments. That way kind of, I feel like I'm engaging you guys. I haven't lost your attention. Yes? Yasmin? Yep. Right? We feel stuck sometimes. April? Yep. I'm not the only one that felt that way, right? Yes. Awesome. Okay. So before we just start, just put your phone away, give yourself these 15 minutes because endo has taken away a lot of time. You deserve to put a little bit of time into kind of figuring it out and beating it. Agree? Yes? It's time to change your story, ladies. And I'm here as my mission to help you change your story from endo. I'm going to tell you a little bit of information with me, but what I'm here to really share are 3 steps that I took to stop that endo cycle, right? I was in the pills and surgery cycle, but that didn't work. But what did I do without pills and surgery in beating endo and actually stopping that cycle where you're just constantly feeling stuck, right? That's me. And what I'm going to offer you guys, if you stick around to the end, you know, I want you guys to stay because I want you guys to have this information. I feel like I've done so much work in terms of packaging all this together, and I have an amazing life myself now. I want you guys to have the exact same. You know, I think women supporting women is the best thing that's ever happened. I love that hashtag, women supporting women. I'm going to give you a guide on supplements. Supplements are huge. Supplements are so massive. But what does it mean for endo, right? And so you're going to get the list of like the supplements that I kind of review with women that I work with as a client. And it doesn't have like number recommendations, but at least they're there and why I would suggest those for consideration for endometriosis specifically. Okay, so you'll get that guide for free. So tonight we're going to talk about why endo comes back, how to reduce that pain, the flare, with evidence-based. Everything I do is science-based. I'm an engineer by training, and so I love facts. I love geeking out. It's like my hobby, and I did it on endo because endo was my life. And I said, if I don't spend my entire life fixing the endo, I really will be stuck here forever. So I either invest my time in it and figure it out, and I did, and I've been figuring it out for 20 years. And I did it without popping more pills. Sound good? Who's excited about that? Right? And so within that, I'm going to promise you that everything I talk about is evidence-based. All my clients get, you know, all the research studies to back up everything that I have said. And it's going to tell you how I stopped my flares from returning over and over again. And then I just got back to living my life. I pretty much hit the delete button on endo in my life. And I had my family and I never looked back. Sound good? Yeah? Tell me. Tell me in the comments if that sounds good. I think we've had a few more join in. Welcome, welcome. I am Kush. All right, awesome. Okay, so the first thing I want you to know, the one thing that you're going to need to know when you walk out of here is that doctors don't know what the cause of endometriosis is. We know what's involved in it based on research and studies. What they do know is that there is a primarily hormone-related base here, and that's with estrogen, right? We know it's related to estrogen. Hence, you know, when you go in, they first try to manipulate what you're feeling, you know, mask the symptoms with estrogen manipulating drugs like the birth control pill, medical menopause, Lupron, right? Or Lissa. Other one is shutting down your entire lady parts, just shutting them down, even taking them all out. It's like, okay, there's a problem. We don't know what it is. Let's just take this whole thing and just take it out of your body, right? It's not a solution, right? These are all regarded by even the medical community as poor treatment for endometriosis. Medication is poor treatment, and hysterectomies are poor treatments for endometriosis. And I'm so glad that leading researchers and leading doctors and surgeons are recognizing this, that the medicine is not helping the endometriosis society. All right? So, but we do know there's estrogen involved. Who am I? Like I said, I'm an engineer, and I'm a management consultant. So I did end up having a fantastic career, multi-six figure. Like I lived my life. I became a mom of 3. I beat endo, and the doctor told me that I might not have kids, and then I went on and I had 3 kids. And when I had those 3 kids, and even though I had a successful career, something inside me flicked on when my doctor told me that more women need to go down your path. More women need to follow your path, because women that I used to treat with you alongside me at that same time have now, when we were talking like 8 years or 10 years later, have gone down a very dark path. Like they had hysterectomies, they're still struggling, they're on pills, they didn't have, the children they wanted or whatever it was. And she's like, I wish more women took your path. And so I was like, all right, I guess that's my calling, coming in. I went and I got a diploma, and I became a registered holistic nutritionist. Along with becoming a registered holistic nutritionist, I also studied healthy breast prevention at the Canadian College of Naturopathic Medicine. And I now am an advisor from a community and patient perspective at the same hospital that I was A, born at, B, had all my endometriosis surgeries at, C, delivered all my kids at. So I've pretty much stayed in the same area my entire life. And now I'm an advisor at that hospital. I've been featured by the Endometriosis Foundation of America as a recipes and nutritionist. And I also host women's wellness retreats. So that's a little bit about me. All right. But at the end of the day, I'm also just like you, right? I'm a girl. I was young. I had energy. I had lots of fun. I had dreams. I had ambition. I liked to control my, I liked planning my life and all these things. I had big dreams. And then boom, endo came. And like, I couldn't write tests. I couldn't go to school. I had an accessibility parking pass when I was 20 because I couldn't walk when I was 20 due to endometriosis, right? That was me. Endo hit me hard, right? I had 5 surgeries from endo. I had aha moments, and slowly, I had the resilience and I connected the dots. Now I got back to my life. And like I said, I had a kick-ass career. I had my family. I'm working, traveling. And now I'm actually coming full circle and helping the women where I empathize with you. I actually really get it. I've been there, I've been there, and I know what I did worked. And I also know that what I did worked for other women who work with me. Okay. But what kept me going when I kept falling? What kept me going? Because, it wasn't easy to get there, right? In terms of beating endo. It was my why. I had a big why, and I would cry thinking about not having that, right? I wanted that career. I don't know what it was, but I wanted that career. I wanted to prove myself out there. I wanted to have kids. These were big ambitions for me. I wanted to make my parents proud of who I was. Who else has a why? And like, I'm talking about a why that actually makes you cry, right? When you say, oh, I want to like beat endo so I don't have pain. Why? You don't want to have pain because what? What do you want to do when you don't have pain? Right? Well, I want to do the things I like. Why? Right? Like, why? Get deeper into that why. Can you guys tell me what your why is? What's your why that kind of creates a fire inside you that cries? Because honestly, honeys, like you're going to need to know that why. You're going to put it on a whiteboard. You're going to put it on your bathroom mirror using a dry erase. Because when it gets hard to beat endo and those days are hard, you're going to have to remember that. That's what you're going to have to remember, right? Who has a why here? Who has a why here that they know? And you may not know it surface. You might know surface level why. You may not know your deep one, but that's okay. You can take that home. But if you do and you're brave, please share so that everyone understands that I'm trying to share. I share because I am now past it and it's easier for me. I've done a lot of therapy in order to help you share too, right? I can be vulnerable and hold space for you guys, right? You want children so badly. And I went deeper. I was like, I want children because I want to be able to love them like my mother loved me, right? I want to be able to raise mindful human beings in this world. I want my children to be kind, beautiful souls. Like I want to do something like that that's just so impactful, right? That's the why. I want you guys like know that because you need a why that makes you cry to keep pushing you forward. Do you guys have a why? Do you guys get what I'm saying? I need a little bit more yes. So yes, Joelle, thank you. Changing career to become a nurse to help others, support, care, and encourage others. Yes, you want to help other people in this world and you want to become a nurse. And so you need to beat endo so you can do that. Yes, April, I get that. I get that, April. Right? Come on, keep sharing. I'm just going to go ahead, but I want you guys to keep sharing here because we are not alone in this, ladies. We are not alone in this. All right? And now my why is evolving, right? I have a tween daughter. And you know, God bless, I have a tween daughter. But you know I'm shit scared of, right? Of her hormones. So I'm making sure that I'm knee deep in research. I'm up to date on everything that comes out. I have all the books. And every time a book drops on endometriosis, I will be there. Anytime a study drops on endometriosis, I will read it because my daughter needs to live an anti-endo life so that she does not face any of those troubles. Girls have it hard enough, okay, with body image and all that shit. The last thing they need is like a period that stops them and actually kind of validates that, you know, like this unworthiness, this like, you know, darkness, right? So now I want my tween daughter to be healthy. I want all the freaking girls to be healthy. I don't want them to waste their teen years, their 20s years, you know, kind of in bed with a heating pad for 2 to 3 days of every month. I want all girls to be educated and live this life. I want it to be a part of the education system. How to keep your hormones balanced for life. Not just don't have sex or have protected sex or get on the birth control pill, girls, because you're going to get pregnant. Like that was, I feel like, the only message I got from health class. Can you guys relate to me? Right? This is the stuff that girls need to be taught in school. That's my mission. Like, if I'm going to teach you guys because you guys are living it already, but man, what if you had this as a teen and you learned all of this as a teen? You just found out after removing a cyst during my fertility treatment. Yes, Yasmin, like it totally, sometimes you don't know. I have women who, you know, just have horrible pain and they don't know anything. They don't have surgery booked. And then I have women who just came out of surgery because they had pain and they, you know, doctor thought it was endo. I have people who went into fertility first and then had surgery for an endometrioma and then found out they have endometriosis. There's so many different places that women start their endo journey, right? But at the end of the day, they're all in a point of pain and kind of suffering. Yes, April. All right. Tell me, guys, isn't that amazing that if you guys, all the girls learn this when they're in teens, right? This is me. Guess what? These other girls, they didn't get it. They didn't have to put sick notes together. I did. So this whole thing of like, here's me after my 5th surgery. My mom brought me this bear with my sisters. They don't have endo. I do. Right? I required the accommodations. You know how shaming it is to have those accommodations at university, right? That you have those notes, the accessibility pass. At work, you get judged. You know, you don't get the promotions, all that kind of stuff. These are big impacts. Shame, being like embarrassing. You lose your confidence, right? I wanted to stay home. I was on the toilet. Who can relate to this? Who can relate to these feelings that you know? April, yes. Who else? Who else can relate to those feelings, right? They're trying the drugs, you know, being confused, putting so much money into it. And we don't even realize we use so much money, right? And then the surgery, 5 surgeries. I even wanted to have 5 surgeries. Who else can relate? Joelle? Yeah? Yeah. Yasmin, yes. Who else? Come on. I want to hear from you guys. I'm not the only one who's like wasted money in surgery and all these pills, right? And Keisha, yes. Yes. this is what I was on. It's that cycle. I went to surgery, I went through pills, went to surgery, the pills, surgery, cycle of my life. This was like a nightmare. And then guess what? The holidays would show up, and then it'd be like, shit, she doesn't have a baby anymore. She doesn't have babies yet. She's still, having surgery, or she's still sick. She's a sick one. Or I'd go to baby shower and I just feel like shit, right? That was crazy. That was so crazy. Liz! Oh my gosh, Liz, hi, I'm so glad you're here. And so Liz knows me. Liz knows me, and Liz beat endo like nobody beat endo. Liz, I'm gonna make sure, can you stay here so that you can share when I talk about beating endo? I want you to share how fast and how amazingly you beat endo. Awesome, okay. Liz is gonna share her story, guys. Okay, make sure you stay. Got active. I did a lot of things right. You guys are all doing things right. No judgment. We quit food. We quit junk food. You start exercising. You're like, oh, I'm going to go acupuncture. I quit dairy, or you quit red meat. You see a naturopath. You're doing research. You're doing a lot of things right. I did a lot of things right. I quit Pop-Tarts, right? And I quit Alfredo pasta. I loved Alfredo pasta. I mean, I was a vegetarian, but Alfredo pasta, like that, I wasn't a superwoman, man. I was just like you guys. Right? If you guys feel like, oh, she's like this healthy girl who eats all this stuff and I could never achieve that. Well, I'm here to tell you that I ate Pop-Tarts and Mr. Big Bars, and I ate Alfredo pasta and cheesecake. Yeah. Anybody else ever had eat like that? Right? I'm not like some all-star. I was the pickiest eater out of 4. I was the pickiest eater out of 4. Okay. So, but I also did things wrong, right? As I learned, and I was on this journey to detox my endo. I always say my detox endo journey. I did things wrong, right? I started running on the treadmill. Holy shit, that was wrong for me. My endo got flared up, and my thyroid got punched when I started running on the treadmill. I started eating probiotic yogurt. Big no-no. I started eating all these gluten-free goods because I was like, I need to replace something. So I ate all these gluten-free goods. And this is like when gluten-free wasn't a thing, 20 years ago. I started eating Tums. I was like, I won't take prescription med. I'll just eat Tums. Tums is good. I don't want reflux. That was all wrong. Tums weakened my stomach even more. And then what I also did was create a lot of stress because I was researching and studying and trying my best. And I felt like I was failing. And guess what? Failing never felt good. And I felt very alone. And I was like, my head was just ready to explode in stress. And guess what? The stress made it all worse. It made all my endo worse. So I did the hard way, and that's why I'm here, right? I had surgeries, I had the Lupron, okay? I tried healthy eating, I tried working out, I rotated meds, I read all the books, wasn't probably so good at implementing all the things. I worried too much. That's the hard way. I did this, who feels that endometriosis information looks like this kind of a puzzle? And that's you. Comment yes if that feels like you sometimes when you're out there. There's no cure here. I'm not claiming that I have a cure here, but what I'm here to share with you is the science and the approach, right? There is science on chronic illness, and there is science on the approach to address it. Yeah, you're in the beginning, you're like that, Joe? Yeah. I sometimes get like that too. I'm looking for my daughter and I'm looking at the latest things because I feel like, research is changing, really quickly. It was sucky. It is sucky. It's lonely. I would say lonely. And that's why I made it my mission. I'm to share. I'm going to share. And that was my path. I'm like, here's my path. I was in this thing, but guess what? That's me after 3 kids. That's me after all the surgeries. And I'm just like, I look amazing. You know why I look amazing? Because I friggin' felt amazing inside. Inside, I had no desire to eat pasta. I was content with my life. My relationships were content. I felt free. And I felt like I was coming out of that so strong. That's I never thought that would be possible for me again. No way. Not ever did I feel like I'd ever feel like that again. I never thought of this. But hey, at some point I was believing inside, I'm like, I can have kids, I can have kids. They're wrong, they're wrong, they're wrong. I will have kids. I had kids. And then I took them to Europe. People are like, well, you're crazy for taking kids to Europe. And I'm like, no, I'm not, because I couldn't go before I had kids. I was struggling. I was in pain. I was saving for IVF, right? I couldn't go to Italy. We couldn't do that, right? It wouldn't have been enjoyable. I felt like I would have just, done it and then regretted it. So I did it when I had kids because I felt good and I was living my life. And this is what I do. I bring women together and I empower them. And it's great, honestly. So beating endo, what does beating endo mean for you? Like, that's what endo means for me. Beating endo meant I got my career back, right? I got to earn so that I could have the life I wanted. I got the family that I could raise those mindful beings. And I'm very conscious of raising mindful human beings. And I always my favorite thing with them is be kind, love yourself, and always do the right thing. Always, no matter what. The right thing is always the right thing. Like, those are the things that I craved. I wanted to raise these children. So what does beating endo mean to you, right? What does beating endo mean to you? What does that feel like? In the comments, because I want you guys to share. Because guess what? What one says, be like, yeah, that's me too. That's me too. And then we're not alone. Then we're not alone. Liz, why did you want to beat endo? Liz was committed to beating endo. Liz, why did you want to beat endo? Can you share? She's going to comment on happiness and freedom. Yeah. Right? There's so many whys, and they're all valid. Like, you don't need permission. You want the old me back. Yes. And the old you is going to get an upgrade, because I'm telling you, everything you go through life, like I've learned, everything you go through in life upgrades you, elevates you. As long as you continue to be resilient and push forward, fail forward, grow forward, progress, like, you will elevate yourself, right? I 100% believe in that. Okay. So yes, the old, skinny, energetic, healthy me. Hey, yes, Joelle, why not? Don't be ashamed. Like, yeah, I want to always feel good, because I also know when I look good inside, my body's working optimally. And we're going to talk about that. I want my hormones to be on track, and I want children. Keisha, yes. Hello, Keisha. We never got to connect the other day. 3 secrets. I love to get to know my community, FYI. I love to get to know my community. So I DM everybody back. I email everybody back, because this community is a personal community. So what are you going to hear today? You wanted to know about why endo comes back. So I'm going to tell you that. I'm also going to tell you how my healthy eating was bad, right? And the foods that helped me kick endo for good. And then how I stopped it from taking away kind of my joy part of life, right? Does that sound good? Who wants to know these things? Not worry if I will be in pain at an event. Yes, right? You want people to go somewhere without that worry that you'll have to kind of take painkillers, go in the washroom, get another pad on, all that stuff. Gosh, the things we have to go through. Okay, first things first. Let's talk about the first thing. What I wish my doctor told me, but they don't study these things. The cause of endometriosis only has theories, right? They know it's estrogen related, okay? But then we discover that there's so many different types of estrogen. Did you guys know that? That there's so many different types of estrogen? And then there's one that's a copycat version. It's called xenoestrogens. And if you follow me, you'll know I've talked about the xenoestrogens. Xenoestrogens are very strong, okay? They're very strong. They are a copycat form of estrogen, and they're from synthetic chemicals or outside from our external environment. Xeno meaning external to us. So they're environmental estrogens that are coming into our bodies, right? Our bodies are not eliminating them properly, guys. They're not. You know why? Multiple studies, including one from the American Society of Reproductive Medicine. It included 123 women that didn't have endo. So it's not just women that have endo. They actually had women who didn't have endo included in there. And they took the tissues from both groups, and they told the women with endometriosis, they're like, sorry, here's the text you get. Sorry, you have 10 times more toxins in your blood than others. What the hell? I would be like, what the hell? When I heard this, I was like, what? So I'm a woman, she's a woman, she lives in like Canada, I live in Canada, she has like a regular life, I have a regular life. She doesn't have those toxins, but I do. And that means she doesn't have endometriosis, but I do. So why do I not, like why do I have these toxins? I want to get rid of these toxins because clearly if I didn't have the toxins, I probably won't have the endometriosis, right? Yes? Who's like 10 times more? That's not twice as much, 10 times more. Tell me, is this an aha moment for you guys? Like, isn't this crazy? Right? This is a study in the American Society of Reproductive Medicine. Ladies, it's out there. Public. Crazy. Yes. So, the difference between different types of estrogen is, Mariana, 10 times is a lot. It's like, you have 10, I have 100. Okay? But guess what these 100 are doing? So when you have a xenoestrogen, what happens is they actually attach to receptor cells and they have a more powerful impact. So all cells have receptors on them, right? They can attach to, different hormones can attach to different cells. And so you have to bind. And these copycat estrogens, these xenoestrogens, when they bind, they have a stronger impact on the cell, right? And so they disrupt our endocrine system, like our hormone system, big time, right? They cause inflammation, they mess up signaling, and then they leave the other estrogen that was supposed to be there, like the natural estrogen from our body, just float around. And then you have like all this excess estrogen and moods and all these hormone out of whack. Make sense, guys? And people will say, what about phytoestrogens? What about the food-based estrogens? Guess what? Food-based estrogens, they're weaker. Their actual molecular structure is weaker and it gets broken down a lot faster and gets eliminated easier. And phytoestrogens, actually, when they attach, they don't have a strong impact. They don't influence the cell as much from a signaling perspective. That's the fact. It's molecular science, right? Yes, let's detox this out. Exactly. That's why I'm here. Xenoestrogens. What are xenoestrogens? Are they a real thing? Of course they are. Chemicals, a lot of chemicals. You guys have heard of it. Parabens this, parabens that, BPA this, all that stuff. Meat and dairy. Your biggest source on a dietary basis of xenoestrogens is meat and dairy. Because the food chain, these guys cows absorb the most of these garbage chemicals. They drink the water, they eat the feed, they're eating all that, right? And they're getting polluted, and then you get passed on, right? Because it's in their fat, it's in the red meat, it's in the dairy. And so I know some of you guys are joining because they're like, do I need to quit dairy completely? Well, what are you gonna do? This is why my probiotic yogurt was actually one of the worst things that I was kind of like, oh, I'll have probiotic yogurt for breakfast every day. I'm going on this healthy detox. I'm gonna have probiotic, I'm gonna have Greek yogurt, I was like, oh my gosh, I thought that was healthy. Who else thought that kind of stuff is healthy, right? I would never touch it again after this. Never say never, because I'll talk about that. Fruits and vegetables, the pesticides, right? And it's not like everything needs to be organic, but this is where it's like, okay, which one are my dirty dozen that I can afford to have organic? And then the rest, it's fine. Make your choices. Say, okay, based on this, where was my biggest exposure? Did I have a big exposure during, my childhood years, right? For xenoestrogens. Like, where am I getting exposure now? Eliminate those. Eliminate this, right? It shouldn't make you sad. It should make you empowered. I can understand and appreciate that it would hurt you and make you sad, right? Because you're like kind of learning. But at the end of the day, it's also empowerment. It's education, right? I hope we can turn this, kind of reality into empowerment. Because I don't feel that I'm doing you a service by keeping this information to myself. Okay? Next things. How I realized my healthy eating was feeling endo. So let's start with the probiotic yogurt, right? Not good. Gluten-free bread. What I also learned is that if I have all these toxins in me, I need to get them the hell out. when I started eating all these gluten-free products, I got constipated, and then I wasn't pooping well. And when you don't poop well, all of the toxins, the longer they're in your gut, they can go back into your bloodstream. They can go back everywhere. And you don't want that. It will inflame your gut. You'll get that bloated, hard belly. Those toxins will go back in, and then the inflammation is just increasing everything. I also learned that my salads, greens were the most, one of the dirty dozen. My spinach that I ate a lot, right? It was like, I was like, okay, I'm eating a lot of like these berries and salads, like spinach salad was one of my favorites goes to. And I was like, okay, I was never thinking about organic, but I was like, if I'm going to eat those two frequently, those two I'm going to invest in getting organic. Okay. Kalisi, tell me that this is knowledge is power. I want to hear it from you. I want to hear that, Kalisi, or Katrina, I think it is. My stomach couldn't handle the typical Endo diet. So then the other mistake I made was like, I went plant-based, right? I went plant-based and I got so constipated from the beans and lentils. It was like, it was sad. It was so sad. I was like, I thought I was doing the right thing. And yet here I am getting so constipated by doing the right thing. And this is where I'm here to say, the endo diet is fantastic, but it has to be personalized to you. Does that make sense? Right? Does that make sense that the diet needs to be personalized to you? Because your gut and my gut are different. You might work well in beans and lentils. I do them now because I've strengthened my gut. But the fact is, majority of women with endometriosis show up with irritable bowel syndrome type symptoms because there is gut inflammation, right? And that might be one of those things where it's like, why we're not eliminating those toxins is because our guts are out of balance. Maybe we've had constipation issues. Maybe we've had, a leaky gut. Maybe we've had inflammation. Maybe we have constipation. Like whatever it is that we have, our guts need to be worked on. You have to work on your gut for you, not for me. But there's a basic. Now, there's principles. There's a guidance. The 7-day challenge, if you've done it, kind of is like the most cleanest and most, I would say, common, like okay diet that you could go on. You still might have to tweak it. But at the end of the day, long term, you have to personalize what works for you, for your gut, and then for your family, for your budget. Personalization. It's all important. SIBO, yes, you have to like understand that. Okay, and that's why I don't hand out probiotics left, right, and center. My stomach couldn't handle it, and then I was so afraid of soy. Thank God, like I was like, okay, non-organic. Like soy milk and all these like random tofus that are store, I still agree they are not good. But there are soys that are actually helpful. Yeah, no one will tell you that, but the research is out there. And also cold foods. Why I said I was doing this, I was eating all these like raw foods and cold foods. But then I realized that cold food actually makes your pelvis cold. If you have hands that are hands and feet are cold, who has cold hands and feet? I want some more conversation about this. Who has cold hands and feet? Yeah. So Chinese medicine, because the Chinese know how to do fertility so well. Chinese medicine, and it makes perfect sense. I'm going to explain this to you. Your whole body has a qi, an energy, and a circulation flow. And based on Chinese medicine, the way your blood flows, it goes to everywhere that needs to make you survive first, because obviously you're most important to your body. And you have to survive, just like our immune system works. Our nervous system works. The blood goes to our core organs first, and then it goes to our extremities, our hands and feet. And only after the hands and feet get to the circulation, the rest goes to your pelvis. And guess what? If your hands and feet are cold, your pelvis is probably getting less circulation. And I was like, holy shit, if my hands are this cold, my pelvis is frozen. Sorry, I was like talking like rude there, but seriously, that was my reaction. I was like, my hands and feet are frozen. I used to like shove them on my husband's like back all the time. I like put my feet on him, on his legs all the time, right? Who else? Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, if that's not getting blood and my pelvis gets blood after that, I got to create the energy. And it makes sense now, right? Because if you're not getting energy and circulation in your pelvic region, how is your body and your immune system getting that stuff out of your pelvis? How is it getting that extra old blood out into the rest of your body so it can get out, flushed out and filtered? How is it getting those toxins out of your pelvis if the blood flow and the energy is not there. Making sense? Am I making sense to you guys? Does that, like, yeah? Jessica, you have it? Yeah. April, you have it? Maria, you do too? Yeah, I know. It's so common. Yes, it makes sense, right, Yasmin? Joe, yes. Awesome. Okay, it's all making sense, right? You're connecting the dots. Like, these are the dots that you got to connect, and I'm hoping that, like, you guys are connecting the dots for you guys. Like, this is empowerment. This is education. So you guys can do it. Yes. Okay. So what the hell do I eat? I was like, oh my gosh, like, I've done everything wrong. I did whack-a-mole, right? And sometimes I feel like I was doing whack-a-mole, like, you know, that game where you like whack, 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 whack. And then I was like, holy shit, I'm at the wrong station. I should have been playing whack-a-mole over there. You know, I shouldn't even been at the plant-based station first. And I should have been at the salad bar. I should have been over there trying that stuff out. And that's why, you know, that's why there was options of how I could have gone back into this field. I could have become a, you know, naturopath doctor. I could have gone to gynecology. I could have gone into whatever. Nutrition was like 80% of the work I did on myself. And that's why I went to holistic nutrition, because I was like, I just need to really dive deep on what I did and share it out to the world. So what I did was I ate endo cleansing foods. You guys are going to take notes here now, right? So I hope you've been taking notes the whole time. Endo cleansing foods. I was like, I need foods that are going to cleanse that shit out of me. I also need foods that are going to reduce inflammation. I need them to reduce inflammation in my gut, so my gut keeps going, right? Like, if your gut's this big and there's inflammation, the stuff's not getting through, right? And that stuff's going back in there, creating more inflammation. And if you have inflammation in one part of your body, it becomes systemic too. That inflammation can then create more inflammation in your pelvic region, right? Inflammation is systemic. You just can't only have it in one area and not have it potentially go to other areas. You know, it can go to other areas. And then I also know that I needed to consume cofactors and coenzymes, right? And what are cofactors and coenzymes? They're the actual minerals and vitamins and nutrients that help things happen. My liver needs enzymes and it needs nutrients to detox, to latch on and to get rid of that stuff, right? My thyroid and my ovaries needed nutrients for its health. So I was like, first I need to cleanse, then I need to reduce inflammation in my body, and then I need to actually work on specific stuff that my liver needed, that my endocrine system needed, and for me, like, also my thyroid needed, like all my hormones. I needed to work on this. So that's what you need to eat, right? So what does that look like? A lot of greens, a lot of greens. And I know this is not the answer I wanted to hear, because I loved Alfredo pasta and cheesecake. And now I had to eat greens, right? And not just spinach. I had to eat like all the greens, right? And I needed to eat the broccolis. I needed to eat the cauliflowers. I needed to eat the cabbage. I needed to eat Brussels sprouts. I heard about like Brussels sprouts being like the food that all kids hated. We never made Brussels sprouts as in our family. As a kid, we had a lot of ginger. I used to pick the ginger out. I hated ginger. And I was like, oh gosh, I have to eat all this stuff now. And I was the pickiest eater. And my mom's like, wow, look at you, right? Like, when I wanted to feed you all this stuff, you didn't eat it. And now look at you eating it. I'm like, because I have a purpose, I have a reason now, Mom. You know, I got away with it before, but now I have to eat it for my own good. If I want my life back, I'm gonna have to eat this stuff. And then your palate changes. What I realized is when I enabled my liver detox, the cravings went down. I got control over my hormones, and all of a sudden, this was palatable. I could actually do it. And so don't be afraid when I say lots of greens, your broccolis, your kales, you know, your arugulas. These are the foods you want to eat. The cabbages, the Brussels sprouts, asparagus, sulfur-rich foods too, because sulfur helps bind and take the stuff out. Miso. Surprise! Natto and miso. Who's heard of natto kinase? Right? It's a supplement. But guess what? Green smoothies, yes, they are okay. I usually keep them at room temperature. But yes, green smoothies are fantastic. They're part of my 7-day challenge. Miso and natto, why are they so special? Because, you know, we know by studies, they actually can latch on to dioxins. After like Hiroshima, Japan, they had these studies done as well. They can actually latch on to those toxins and actually help get them out of the body, exit the body. First, you have to fix your digestion. Make sure you're eliminating properly, but then you can actually do that. You can actually have things that are latch and take the stuff out. natto, miso, these are foods. They're just foods. You don't need to buy supplements. These are foods. You need to increase them in your diet and you take them out. Ginger and turmeric. Ginger, turmeric, lemon, staples every day of my life. I hated ginger. Like, I hated it. And now it's given me my life back. I was like, what the hell? Like, we're besties. Ginger and I are besties now. Why? Because my bestie has my back, right? My bestie has my back and I have a life. Thank you. I do not need Alfredo pasta in my life anymore because I get to do everything I want as long as I don't like eating Alfredo pasta. I think that's a fair trade-off. Who thinks this kind of a food is a fair trade-off for getting their life back? Right? Come on. As long as you're pooping it out. As long as you're pooping it out. And I got that. I got that beautiful S-shaped poo. I was like, wow. Everybody's supposed to have a beautiful S-shaped poo that comes out in like 2 minutes. And yeah, I didn't know that. How long did it take you to change your palate? You're picky too. So I went through all of this and I played whack-a-mole. I did it the hard way, right? Like I took 2 years, right? I took 2 years. But if I had someone hand this to me, like I'm handing you, I don't like, it's much quicker. This is why you're here, right? And guess what? Everything started working. I got my poops better. I felt like my body just started clicking. Everything started working together. All of this body parts connected. I got the energy. My legs were moving. That bloat went down. I didn't even think I was pudgy, but that pudginess went down. Like, it was just beautiful. I was like, hey, my body knows how to work itself. And I was like, how did I not have this for the last 7 years? How come I stayed in misery for the last 7 years? And it was like, wow, it actually works. My body works. And it does. Like, your body has a whole blueprint. Your mother's body created you, like full on life. Did your mother like tell it what to do? No. Your body has an intelligence. There's an intelligence there that can create a whole freaking human being in your uterus. Your uterus creates a whole new organ, the placenta, for 9 months. Those cells in there are freaking smart. You just need to empower them with the right stuff, and then they'll figure themselves out, right? Everybody knows it, like they're talking about it, is epigenetics. Even if you have genetics, epigenetics says your genes are smart enough to turn off and on. If you set it up right, the bad ones turn off, the good ones turn on. Being vegan seems hard. It does seem hard, right? You don't need to be vegan, but you might need to be, right? You might not be able to digest meat. I also could only digest small amounts of meat because my stomach wasn't strong enough. Yeah, right? My energy skyrocketed when I did this. My weight got good. My thyroid optimized. My FSH, they told me I had like low ovarian reserve, and I got it back to normal. I knew my numbers. I was tracking my numbers because I was at a reproductive clinic for infertility. My lining got thicker, and I had a pain-free period. And I know this works because there's other women within 7 days that have turned themselves on. So Liz, you're in the group still. Liz, tell them how fast you turned around, right? While I go on. You're going to see it coming up in the comments. And thank you. I had no idea Liz was joining here. So I also realized that there was a whole bunch of stress that I'd put on myself. Doing this whack-a-mole, doing this trial and error failure. I was doing it alone. I had to keep, I was on the bathroom floor crying with a pregnancy test in my hands too many times. I was even at my work office with pregnancy test in the washroom that I bought from the local pharmacy, and then it'd be negative, and then I'd be sitting on the toilet crying and not show up for work for the rest of the afternoon, right? Like, that shit hurts. And the stress factor is what I never knew. I had so much stress that the stress was what my hormones were getting better, but there was something missing. I was still stressed out. I was still emotionally drained. I still felt like I, wanted to fix something or have control back. And it still had something. It had my fertility, and that hurt me. And so when I started working on my stress, I started working on the emotional journaling, the yoga to release stuff, like the deep stuff. I know that at times I wish I wasn't a woman, whether it's at home, whether it's at work, not being able to do the same things that men can. I had to let that shit go. Let shit go really enabled all of that shit to go. It really enabled my body to let it all go and honestly, I felt like I could go to a baby shower and feel good because I did an emotional detox. You need to do an emotional detox. Honey pies, I know you guys all have emotions that are stuck. I just lost my parents in the last 18 months, both of them. Both of my parents I've lost in 18 months. And as much as emotional work that I've done, I need to redo it. This is life, you know, even positive stressors, like I built a house. That's a positive stress, but holy, I need to let that stuff go. Good or bad stress, us women, we hold that and we hold it in our pelvis, we hold it in our breasts, we hold it in these sacred places. And we need to let those energy go so that the energy gets unblocked. Okay? Does that make sense? Does that resonate? That we need to unblock that stress. Okay? Otherwise, that pain cycle, because your nervous system responds in the fight or flight mode when you're in stress. And when you're in fight or flight mode, your digestion is off, your reproductive health is off. So if you're in stress mode, your pain and nervous system are on fire and you will be tense. And as much as you think you're doing well and you're doing good and you're eating clean, if you're stressed about it, it's not working. You can do all the clean eating you want. If you are stressed about something or if you're holding on to emotion, your body will not heal completely. Does this make sense? April, thank you. Right? If this is you, I'm clean eating and I'm like stressed because nothing's working and I'm not getting pregnant. Like it's work and it's out of your control. You have to focus on what's in your control and not worry about the things that are out of your control. My parents were not in my control. My fertility was not in my control in terms of having a baby. What I did control, I could, but actual having a baby or how that was going to happen, I let that go. I'm like, I will be a mother. I'm not going to worry about the how. I'm going to worry about making sure my health is good because at the end of the day, if I'm going to be a mother, I want to be healthy for the next 80 years to take care of this kid and be friends with it. More stress, more pain. Yes, yes. Joe, yes. Yasmin, yes. Anam, me all the time. Right? Yes. I get it, right? And you can try all the supplements and waste all the money, right? It won't beat your stress, okay? And when I beat that stress, my pelvis opened up. And that is when I got this. My top, that's a positive pregnancy test. My husband used to think I saw things because I had 6 chemical pregnancies, which means I saw the beta under 25. Like I actually had a 2-day delay in my period, and then I get my period. But it was pregnancy, but the implantation wasn't working. My uterus was not accepting this, right? And then I had this, right? And that was because I've done the emotional work. I released it, and my uterus was not protecting me anymore and was now open to new life, right? Until my uterus was in the fight or flight mode, it was going to protect me because it needs to. I'm the priority for my body, not the new baby. Because sometimes we're like, I don't care, I'll go through anything just for the baby. Your body's like, nuh-uh, we're going to keep you alive first. Baby, later. So let your uterus become open to new life. That's what I had to do. Okay, so now, recap. You've learned why it keeps coming back, because there's all these estrogens that we need to get out, and we're not eliminating. There's inflammation that's going to feed it and keep it there. And your immune system is not optimized for that. Healthy eating, I've talked about that. And I've talked about how to stop the pain from taking away the emotional pain, like the emotional detox that we need to do. Because even if you have endo and you know there's like smaller symptoms or lesser pain, the emotional detox will still get you out and about living your life because you won't have the weight of endo. The weight of endo is heavy. Pain with sex. That's guilt. I carried so much guilt because I was like, oh my gosh, it's painful. And then it'd be scheduled trying to conceive the other times. And my husband, like, God bless him, either having scheduled sex or painful sex where I complain. I'm sure he didn't like that. Right? Makes sense, right? Yes, yes. Okay. I'm going to go back. Liz shared here. Liz said, so Liz was here a year ago. She joined what I call the anti-endo lifestyle. And I work through mindset. We get your poops going. We work your digestion. This is the 12-week program I keep talking about. We cleanse you. We work on the cleanse. Work on a personalized anti-endo diet. Change the lifestyle. Make sure you don't have toxins around you. And then do that emotional detox and love and support. This is the anti-endo lifestyle. And it's a 12-week program. So Liz joined this last year. And Liz said, yeah, I had my first pain-free period after a month. It was unbelievable. Basically my first period since starting the program. Like, oh my, like, oh my gosh, I want to see if, okay, hold on if I can, where are my participants here? Okay, Liz Gomez. There you go. Liz, you can talk.
Hey, yeah, I could not believe it. It was hard because like I started the program right before Thanksgiving, like right around this time. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can everybody else hear Liz? I can hear Liz. Yep.
Okay. And so every year, my family, huge family reunion in the mountains, 30 family members, 40 family members, and here I am detoxing, drinking my miso soup, my ginger tea. Everyone was looking at me like I was a weirdo, and it was just like really hard to try to explain to everyone, but I'm like, no, I'm doing this. Like I'm doing this. And the period, like my very first period after the detox, and like it was like maybe close to a month, it was like my very first period. It was no cramps, no cramps at all. It was just I didn't even feel like I had a period, and it's just like that's not like me. Like it was just so unbelievable. It was crazy. I mean, I could tell my husband, like everyone, I was just texting everyone, like, I can't believe I don't have any pain. I would be really just, crunched over my bed, just a mess, calling in sick, just, it was just really, really, really bad. I mean, to the point where I was always calling in sick every month from work and, walking, and then like all of a sudden the pain just stops me. I have to like hold myself against the wall because it's so debilitating. But it was hard. I had to learn a lot, but I just have to say that is all of the information that I learned from your program, Kush,
Yep.
like it's stuff that I had researched. Some of the things I had found on my own, like, oh, when I started learning about the program and doing it, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember learning that. But it was like, it was that, and it was more. You added so much more, but it was crazy because it was everything that I wanted because it's compacted into a step-by-step program where because you could just you research and you find a supplement that you read about that works, and then you don't know when to take it. You just start taking it without really knowing when, and this kind of outlines everything where you know exactly when to take it. Like, oh, first you detox, and then you do this, and then you explain why.
Yep.
Where otherwise I was kind of just reaching for everything that I could, like, you know what I mean? Just reaching blindly.
Yeah. It's amazing. Oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah.
Thank you for
Mm-hmm.
joining again today.
Yeah,
And,
I just
yeah, registering and
wanted
doing
a refresher. Yeah, it's
yeah,
just
you wanted a
helpful to just,
refresher, right?
yes.
Awesome. Okay. Well, welcome. Thank you. That must I hope that inspires you guys, right? To who's inspired by Liz's story, right? I'm just gonna make sure that okay. Awesome, right? Yeah, April, Joe, Mariana. Yeah, it is. It's hard, but worth it, right? Yeah, it's totally hard. And like she said, Thanksgiving, she was a skeptic. Like it's hard. Like it's being that person during, you know, and she's not the only one, right? Joanna. I'm not sure if Liz knows, but Joanna, joined, and after 10 years, her cyst shrunk. She stopped catching a cold, so her immune system was down. And she joined, and she felt great. When she wrote this note to me, she didn't tell everybody, but she actually got pregnant really soon, and she now has a 8-month-old baby boy, which is fantastic news. And she actually will be joining again this time. I'm just going to mute you, Liz, here for a second. She actually will be joining again because she wants, like Liz said, a refresher. She wants to get back in. Atina was the same thing. She had lots of great news. She felt amazing. And she had done a lot of research. She bought all the books, tried everything, but and was sick of the pill. And she actually had excision surgery done with one of the top New York specialists as well. But there was just something she had to address. There's still more she wanted to address, and that's what she signed up for me. And so, just to wrap up, was this all time well spent? Did you guys find it valuable? Like, it would be great to get some live feedback from you guys, just so I know that this is helpful. You guys like it. That this is something that I can continue sharing with women, right? Yeah, definitely valuable. Okay. Yes. So worth this last hour, right? So how I help, like I said, like, the anti-endo lifestyle, this is it. Like, it's like a full-fledged program that I share with women. It's 12 weeks. We have the meal plan, we have the program, we have the lifestyle, we have a journal. We talk about everything. We go through it. And the best part is you actually get connected with women who are doing it. And, there's a lot of like failure points in that. We have, Thanksgiving, or we have this, or we have like the mother-in-law show up and says, oh, you're not pregnant again. This girl tried this. You should really try this. And you're like, she does not have endo. Why don't you get? Right? So, hold on one second. Can you guys see me still? Okay. There we go. Okay, can you guys see me now? Yes? Okay. Yeah, so the program is really a guided program and with other women in a small intimate group. We don't get big. We get small, big, actually having conversations, so you're not alone. You talk to people who are going through the same things, don't want to be on the meds. They're all trying the holistic approach, but they're guided, right? And we get to in this program, like, if you are actually interested, like, let's book a call and we can just talk about it. We're pretty much full for the fall sign up. We launched, and if you guys are on my email list, you would have known we launched and closed. I do have a couple of spots left. We're opening up the group tomorrow to all the new attendees. So Liz, you get to meet the 9 new 10 new folks that are coming in this fall. We are also taking spots for January now, because I offered it to one person and I don't want to say that to anyone else. But if you want to book a call with me, do it now. My calendar, this is how you get to my calendar. And you can just book here. And I'm gonna actually see if you guys are booking, because if you guys are serious, I want you guys to book a call, because the least you can do is now take 30 minutes to see if the program's right for you. We're gonna talk about actually, like, answer your questions, what questions you may have about this, or if you just want in. Like, there's also women who just want in. I've had a couple of those. Liz was one of those women where she was skeptical, but then you're like, I'm just in, right? And I have people who have followed me for a year who are now in, because they weren't ready last year, but they're ready now, right? And they say, I wish I would have started a year, but I know why I didn't, and that is fair, and I respect that. So on this call, if it's not right for you, if you're not ready right now, that's totally cool. But at least that's worth having the conversation. This is my free time, right? So book this call. I'm going to see who's booking, because I can actually see you guys book calls right now. Book call and get in. The 7-day challenge is closed. It is a lot of, we had 1,000 women join it, 1,000 women do the 7-day challenge. That's going to be in January again. So we run that once a quarter. January will be the next time it's run. So stay tuned for that. It is not open in between there. I want to see if you guys are booking your calls, or if you're actually just ready to start and want to get in for the now, and not wait any longer. You want to have your period for Christmas be awesome, or at least for January, then get in now, right? Like, this is, like I said, I'm going to share with you exactly step by step. We'll make sure that your constipation is fixed, that we address your nutrition issues, we personalize your plan. And if you have questions, every week you get access to me and you get to pick my brain, and we do Q&A, and we make sure that you're working and tweaking it for you. And you get to listen to what other women are doing that week and what their challenges are. Because they also may have tips of how they overcame it. I found that women helped each other a lot too, right? Because I'm not like, I'm there on a weekly basis to coach you guys and then, offer support. But the women support women. It's amazing, right? So book your calls. All right, Anna, amazing. We're scheduled. We will talk. And like I said, if you feel you're really ready, DM me. Like, you guys know where to find me on Instagram. You guys know where to find me on Facebook. DM me, okay? Because at the end of the day, if you don't take the time out of your life to, address this right now, who's going to do it for you? This is one life. That's what I had, right? And this is like, I feel like I need to say this to you guys, because I wish I had someone that said this to me, that guided me, right? I thank God I had people. I had naturopaths, I had acupuncturists, I had everybody. And together with that and just the support I had, I was able to do it over time. But now I'm like, I'm here. Here's the guided program. It's 12 weeks to beat endo, because you'll know everything from a lifestyle perspective, everything that's in your control, right? Not everything is in your control, but the things that are in your control, you'll get empowered with that. You'll get educated with that. And you'll get 20 years of research. You can just pick my brain, right? I don't think, like, honestly, I think about the women who come to me who either are struggling getting pregnant, struggling getting to work, struggling getting their degree. And I'm like, that's me. Like that was me, right? And so I really am like, okay, what is the best way that I can support them? What is the best way? And it's just about making sure that you are empowered. But sometimes you need more than empowerment. You need the support, you need the full guidance, and you need it personalized. And unless you work with me closely, I can't personalize it for you. That's why this program exists. People say, well, why the program? Well, I'm like, because it needs to be personalized to you, right? You need personalization. You need me to kind of give you that tough love sometimes. You need me to say, okay, why did that happen? Or what supplement do you actually need to take, right? And I can't recommend supplements. In my practice, I can't recommend supplements unless you guys are working with me, right? So I want you guys to like think about, what you're doing and how you're going to invest in yourself, knowing all this information, what you're going to take away, and how you're going to go beat endo, right? And if you need the personalization, if you want the support, if you want to be with women who are doing it, like Liz, and Liz is in the group, and Joanne's in the group still, and we have Bruna, who after a year, is not taking meds on day one, and she's actually going to work on day one, which is amazing, right? These are like big wins. These women are having big wins. They're big wins in life. You're not here so you don't have to take Advil. You're here because guess what? You know what? That promotion's coming up, and you've been able to show up to work. You've been able to show up to work, and now it's theirs. It's yours. And guess what? That trip you wanted to take, you can take it. Or guess what? Your friends are going out, and now they just stopped calling you out. But now they know that you're going to be available. So they started asking you again. It's not like they didn't want you there, but they also didn't want you to say no every time because they felt bad asking you. And then guess what? Your husband and you can have sex without worrying, and you don't have the guilt that, pain of the pain. And he doesn't have the guilt of like asking for it, right? You're both winning there. Does this make sense? Does this all make sense? Yes? Okay. I'm going to give you your bonus because you guys have all been patiently waited for the supplement bonus. There it is. Take that, copy it, save it, download your supplement bonus link. Again, there will not be amounts. There will not be dosages. There will not be take this and that or this and that. And just a tip, compliance of supplements goes down by 50% more than 3. So you have to be really critical about what 3 or 2 you're going to take, because after that you're more likely to have them sitting on the shelf expire than actually using them. Who has had expired supplements in their cabinet? Me, right? When I was doing this, I was like a supplement junkie. I had everything in my cabinet, and my husband one day just went and he's like filled a whole grocery bag with all the expired ones. And he's like, "This is pathetic." It's like, "This is $1,000 right here in supplements that you just wasted." And I felt bad, but I was like, whatever, at least I got to where I needed to get to, that was I'm like, at least I got to where I wanted to be. Joelle, awesome. We will talk. Okay. And we got some, got it. Awesome. So many messages. All right. All right. If that was helpful, give me a high five before you guys sign out. I am so grateful for your time. Oh, raise your hand. Okay. Yeah? Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Contact me, Yasmin. Yes. Anytime. You guys know where to find me. And you guys know I'm going to get back to your DMs for sure. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening. All right. I want to see you guys book. I want to see you guys message me if you guys are in. Thank you from Brazil. Mariana, thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening, guys. Love you. Love you, Liz. See you all in the group. Yes. See you all in the group. Bye.